What's up guys, yesterday I showed you one surprise weapon that you can indeed use to shock your e4 opponents as well as your d4 opponents. And the surprise gambit I'm talking about is the unknown Fianchetto gambit, which begins with a move pawn to f5. And I don't want to repeat content. If you want to know more about this gambit, watch my yesterday's video. Spoiler alert, we noticed that black wins most of the times after white plays the top played move bishop d3. You can see with your own eyeballs 50% win rate for black. So as dubious as this opening looks, it's quite tricky and deadly if white doesn't know exactly what he is doing. But I want to show you something that happened to me a few minutes ago. And so I'm recording this piece after losing a game that I won in the opening, which is quite a shame for me. My opponent played the top played move bishop d3, which I covered in my yesterday's video, attacking the g6 pawn. And if you remember very well, I said our main plan here goes as follows: queen d6, bishop g4, a6, knight c6, bishop h6, e5, and knight e7. So this is more like a setup if you think about it, because you'll just be playing the same things over and over. Right, so back to the game. After my opponent played bishop d3 attacking my g6 pawn, I simply played the move that I recommended in my yesterday's video, queen d6, to protect the g6 pawn and also stopping bishop f4, the London bishop. I said after this move, simply go bishop g4, pinning that knight. And at this time, I was expecting my opponent to play pawn to h3, the move that I covered in my yesterday's video, or just something like knight c3. These are the standard moves that people play, even bishop e3. But my 2294 rated opponent surprised me with the move knight e5, which I didn't cover in my yesterday's video. And this is why it is important to watch these follow-up videos. So I want to show you how to punish this move. At first sight, I knew it was a wrong move, but I didn't know how to punish this. It looked like white just hung the piece for nothing. After this, I played bishop f5 because I didn't know what to do, and immediately I lost all the advantage. This was a wrong move, and I'll show you why. I was thinking after bishop takes d1, my opponent was going to win my queen with tempo after something like this, then knight f7 check, and let's say I go king d7, they take my queen, and even if I take their knight, I thought this was going to be very much losing for me. Why? Because there are no queens. I mean, gambits make more sense when the queens are on the board. You want to be attacking, right? So this is why I didn't take white's queen on d1, because of this same tactic. And that's why I played bishop f5, which was even worse, because white didn't even have to take my bishop. They just needed to develop their knight. But in this game, my opponent played pawn to g4, an attacking move. So strong players know that the more they attack their opponents, the more they increase their chances to blunder. And that's what happened in the game. Instead of taking, I played bishop e4, attacking this. But after pawn to f3, I was forced to take the light squared bishop. And my opponent took back on d3 with his queen, and the rest was history. There was no way I was going to defend this. Nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. I ended up losing this game, and well, it is what it is. And I was happy to learn this lesson the hard way. So now let me show you what to do in case you come across this knight e5 move in our Fianchetto gambit repertoire. Whenever you see this move, the best you can do is just to take. That's all. If bishop takes g6 comes, here you can just go ahead and take that free bishop. It's a free bishop, for God's sake. After knight takes, all you have to do is to rescue your light squared bishop and you're safe. If white takes your rook, you can just drop that knight like this. Yes, you are down an exchange, but you're going to be up a full piece. That's the whole idea. And this is what I missed. If knight a3 comes attacking your light squared bishop, you just retreat your bishop back to h7. No weaknesses at all. Let's say bishop f4 attacking your pawn on c2. This is not just an attacking move. It's also a mechanism for white to somehow rescue their knight. So just forget about that pawn and take the free piece. If bishop takes c7, you can simply take the d pawn. Bishop takes d4. If rook d1 attacking your bishop and also the pawn, you can just take the free pawn. There is no this, by the way, due to bishop takes. If knight b5 is played, you can simply go s6. So the knight has to go back to d4, after which you can go bishop c3 check, forcing white to move his king, losing their right to castle, and then you go knight d7. Check the eval bar, guys. Stockfish gives black a negative 3.6 advantage, suffice to win the game. you just have an extra piece. There's nothing here that is happening. If h4, just an example, you can go rook c8 here. So all you're trying to do is to put your pieces on the most active squares. And spoiler, when you're up a piece, like in this situation, or when you have a positional advantage, you want to start exchanging pieces as quickly as you can so that you only remain with pawns and an extra piece in the end game. That's what you're trying to do. If bishop g3 is played, you can just go bishop takes d4. Yep, start exchanging pieces, but not pawns. You go rook c1, they are going to lose a free rook. So this is how dangerous this game can be. Bishop f4, you can go bishop takes if you want. Then after rook takes, you simply play pawn to e5. You're guaranteed to win a piece here. So this is a clear win according to Stockfish. And this is how the game was supposed to go. So I lost the game that I won right in the opening stage. And now I have to redeem myself. Let me play another game in Zen mode. Hopefully it will be the same Fianchetto Gambit so that I can go pawn to f5 and see what my opponent is going to do. This time I'll be very careful because I know the rest of the lines. Right, so here we have a game, hoping to see pawn to... Okay, there we see d4. Anyways, even against this, you can still play the Fianchetto Gambit, which I showed you in my yesterday's video, beginning with the move pawn to g6. So I expect to see... Yep, so there we see pawn to e4. And now it is time to surprise my opponent with a move pawn to f5. Oh, what is this? I wanted to move my pawn to f5. So if pawn takes, the idea is to go pawn to d5. Yep, so not taking the pawn. Otherwise, you're going to run into this mate in one and you're going to blame me for this. So the idea is just to go pawn to d5. Okay, so there we see f takes g6 and I take back. So I explained all these moves in my yesterday's video. If you didn't watch that video, you are missing out. So bishop d3 is the top played move in this position, and that's what my opponent played. So to defend this pawn, you have to play queen d6. Queen d6 is great because it also stops bishop f4. This is what I said in my yesterday's video. And whenever you see knight to f3, you go bishop g4, pinning that knight. Pawn to h3 is a sheer waste of time because I don't have to move my light squared bishop. There is no hg due to rook takes h1. I said all these things in my yesterday's video. So you don't want to develop your king's knight on f6 because it's going to cut the communication between your queen and the pawn on g6. The move that you can play here is something like a6 or knight c6 first. It doesn't matter because knight c6 creates an attack on the pawn d4. So white has to defend it maybe with c3. Yep. Or sometimes they defend the d4 pawn with bishop e3. So after this move, now it is up to you to, to continue with e5 if you want. e5 is a very good pawn break, also played by masters, by the way. So this is more like a setup because you're just going to be doing the same things over and over. I can castle long if I want. a6 is coming, e5 is coming, bishop h6 is coming. But in my yesterday's video, I covered this move pawn to e5 because if anything, I just want to go e4, double attacking the knight and the bishop. So you can see these things do work 100%. Okay, there we see pawn takes, and this is what I covered in my yesterday's video. This is the beauty of opening preparations, you guys. It's always advantageous to go through openings before your opponent does. So bishop e2, I guess now I can take if I want to, or just castle long. How about that? Castle long is okay, still okay. But if I take the knight and bishop takes, okay, just to simplify everything, yeah, there's no need for me to keep the bishop on g4, by the way. Let me just take that knight, and after bishop takes, I'll just take back, or castle long first. All I know is that at some point, a6 must be played, and bishop h6, given a chance, and knight e7. And now I guess I'm back into the game. I can develop my king's knight on f6. Normally, even though I'm down a pawn, I'm ahead in development. Not to mention that I have so many open lines, which is why I guess Stockfish likes my position. How do I know? Because I covered all these things yesterday. So I can go bishop e7 if I want, but just to force things, bishop h6 looks great because after that trade, after this trade, I'll have g5 next and g4. So rook takes. So next I just want to advance my pawn. Okay, so there we see knight b d2 by white. Can I just go g5? Yep, just like I said, g5. I have g4 next. So this is what we do, you guys. Beautiful opening preparation. I'm 100% sure that I have a positional advantage. I guess I can just open up the king side. I mean, what can stop me from doing that? Okay, so there we see pawn takes. But that runs into this tactic. I guess the game is almost over. Let's say after knight takes bishop, knight takes, and then I go rook d h8, somehow threatening to checkmate on h1. But maybe if I play rook d h8 now, white will play pawn to g3, and the h1 square is covered by the bishop. Better I just take on f3. I guess knight takes f3 is coming. Yep, now I can play rook d h8. There's a mate on h1, so white has to move his king, I guess. Something like king f1. But then oh, there we see pawn to g3. Okay, now I can go rook h1 check and then rook h. Oh, I can't play rook h2 due to knight takes because the knight is covering the h2 square. What was I talking about? I guess I just have to take the pawn on g4 or probably go knight e4, but I don't like the idea of knight e4 since white can take my knight with his rook and I'll have to trade off my queen prematurely or something like that. So anyway, let me just try something else. So instead of going knight e4 and allow rook takes, let me just lift one of my rooks, or maybe go something like rook h3. Rook h3 makes a lot of sense. So let me just play some tactics. Rook h3. I can sack on g3, give it a chance. Let me see what my opponent is going to do. Okay, white just played knight e5. I was hoping to see king g2 though, after which I would have played knight e4 because I was going to remain with no option. Oh, again I'm running low on time due to poor time management. But wait, I think knight e5 is a blunder because it stops guarding the h2 square. Now I can go rook h1 check. After king g2, again rook h2 check, king f3. Maybe this is the right time to go knight e4 because there's no this. My pawn will come with check. I'll take with check. By the way, there's a mate. No, that's not a mate. What am I talking about again? I'm attacking the knight. I have this. Yeah, I'm trying to take my time, you know, coming up with accurate moves. One mistake can cost my game since I'm low on time, like 20 seconds. And this happens to me most of the times. You know, at times I get carried away with my commentary and find myself in a time trouble situation. But in this case, I guess I'm okay because if rook takes my knight, I'm just going to take back with check, hence buying more time to capture the queen on d1 as well with my rook. So what's my final rating prediction here? Based on my opponent's moves so far, I can say he's somewhere around, let me say 2000 and 2050. Yeah, I'll settle with that. So now let's see what he is up to. Oh, okay, there we see queen takes d. What is that? Queen takes d5. That was so unexpected though. Oh, my time. What if I just take the queen? Yeah, like queen takes d5 and then rook takes king d3. Guess there's no time. Let me just go knight g4. That's a check, by the way. I'm in trouble. I might lose this game on time. Is that incremental? I guess there is. King f4. Think rook takes check. 2 seconds. Oh, okay, there's checkmate on s6. Great. I was almost losing on time, guys. Anyway, and yes, my prediction was almost correct. My opponent is a 1991 rated player, though with a question mark. So this is probably a new account. It could be a 2000 player on average. So I almost got it right. Not a bad prediction. I said between 2000 and 2050. 2000 is close to 1991. Alright, that's good. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I advise you to check out my tutorial video on this Gambit, which I published published yesterday, so you can simply go to my channel. And hey, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, because that's how you encourage me to keep on making more wonderful videos just like this one. And be sure to follow me on Patreon, which is my membership page where I post other study materials and other premium content that I can't post on YouTube. You know how membership works. Casper Chess, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.